Hey guys, what is up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about The Flash, episode 314, titled Attack on Central City, which premiered Tuesday, February 28th, 2017 on the CW. So guys, huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, go do that first before you come back and check what I have to say about part 2 of the Gorilla City storyline that's happening. So with that said, other video reminders, I should say, are up on screen. Have a moment to remind yourselves of that. Otherwise, let's start the 10-minute clock. And let's begin with what happened in this episode. So, timeline-wise, I kind of figured it was the day after Barry and the others returned from Gorilla City on Earth 2. It's also, the day is focused on Valentine's Day, or aka Friends Day, as Earth 19 celebrates it as. So, timeline-wise, there's that. Episode reminder, though, it is Grodd's attack on Central City, aka part 2 of the whole Gorilla Grodd storyline that we have going on, with the villain being Gorilla Grodd and his army from Gorilla City. So episode breakdown, it's pretty much the focus is on stopping Gorilla Grodd's attack on Central City. Now, you do have 2 different attempts that he makes on the city. The first one was a missile launch, which was stopped by Barry, who had to super speed many possible kill sequences before it worked. Thankfully it did, and Barry was fast enough to go through all possible ones. So there's that. Second attempt was by physical force. So that was the actual army descending on the city and wreaking havoc. Before it even gets to that, though, it actually gets to be a fight against Solivar and Grodd. Solivar was brought in by Cisco and Gypsy, and they brought him. Solivar wins, and he wins back the army, and he wants to go back to Earth 2. He spares Grodd because of Barry asking him to, but Gorilla Grodd has to stay on Earth 1, and he is now in Argus custody. So there's that. Last moments of the episode show Wally witnessing Savitar's return when he's on a big belly burger for Jesse. So that was not good for him. So tidbit-wise, though, guys, we got a whole bunch of tidbits that you kind of pick out from here and there in the episode. First off was that episode ends with Barry and Iris together celebrating their Valentine's Day, but Barry proposes to Iris. So there's that happy tidbit right there. Next tidbit shows Dr. Harrison Wells from Earth 2, Harry, eventually giving his blessing to Jesse staying on Earth 1 to be with Wally. Also, you get Cisco getting his kiss from Gypsy and then proclaiming shortly after she leaves that he will marry her one day, if I heard that correctly. Also, we get Harry returning back to Earth 2, sadly. We also get Oliver Queen being mentioned by HR and Barry throughout the episode. Then we actually go to Earth 19 for a brief moment where we see Gypsy talking with another speedster with the medical mask on, and they're talking about the breacher she was sent out to collect. So maybe we'll see those 2 characters again later on, but it's a very brief moment before Cisco interrupted to ask for her help. We also get mentioned that Julian is absent in this episode because he has family obligations back in London, so that's why he couldn't see part 2 unfold. And also we get that Barry doesn't take the opportunity to check the future to see if they had eliminated the whole gorilla attack headline that they had seen. So there's something to take note of. Moving on, though, the most shocking moment of the episode, I think it has to be the fact that Cisco and Gypsy retrieved Solivar to fight against Grodd. I was not expecting Solivar's return, so that was a happy surprise, because then we got to see gorilla on gorilla fighting each other. And it was impressive. Graphics were very impressive. But there was that. I'm surprised they didn't make a lot more damage around them than they did. But anyways, moving on to top 3 favorite moments. First one definitely has to be the fight between Solivar and Grodd. It was such a huge surprise. And it was just great to see it unfold, because it's not something you could see in every episode. So there was that, and it was very interesting to actually take Barry's advice and just give mercy to Grodd and leave him on Earth 1 and just take his army back to Gorilla City on Earth 2. I wasn't expecting that. I thought Solivar would actually just kill Grodd and be the end of it. It definitely would end all their problems, but Barry being Barry, he gonna want to spare as many lives as he can if it's possible. So, which actually comes up a lot, that concept within the episode. So anyways, moving on. Second favorite moment has to be the two Harrison Wells. You got Harry and you got HR. What I liked, though, despite Harry's condescending attitude towards HR, what I liked about these two was that it was very clear how hugely different these two men are. While Harry kind of goes to focuses on his intellect and his intellect and his genius capacity. HR looks more for the brighter things. He's more optimistic. He's very open about his emotions. And even Jessie makes note of that, saying how different her father is to HR and how much noticeable that is. So it was just interesting to see the two versions. And then they also made reference to the Earth 1 Harrison Wells, and in the form of conversation of how do you brush your teeth. So that was always funny just to see the dynamic between the two, especially when you can tell that Harry is so annoyed with HR, and HR is just curious to see what his doppelganger is like. So it's like, there's no harm in that, but Harry's just like, I'm over this. I'm like, no. So there's that. Third favorite moment, I do have to say, would have to be Barry just being so romantic with Iris, both with the massive breakfast that he created. So that was very impressive. And also with his proposal, not only with the setup of the proposal, but the story we got behind the proposal, especially with the ring, with it being his grandfather's or his great-grandfather's, and how it came to be and everything. It was so sweet. It was so sweet, and I just liked the message that Barry was saying, how he was too focused on the future, that he wasn't living in the present, and he couldn't skip out on moments such as that. So I wasn't expecting him to propose to her, but it was a nice surprise, and I can understand why he'd jump further along, since they have that whole future issue with Savitar to worry about, but also because for Barry, he's been in love with Iris for years. It's just, yeah, they may only been official for a little, for recently, but for him, it just seemed like a natural progression. So I liked it. It was very sweet to see that, them be happy in those moments together. Top 3 peeve moments, let's move on to that. I really only have the one, is the fact that Harry went back to Earth 2. I wanted him to stay a little longer. Just a little longer, but I hope we get to see him again real soon. But moving on, what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode? It's pretty much just going to be the whole episode being part 2 of Grodd's revenge against First Earth, as he calls it. So I'm definitely going to remember that. But moving on to random questions. I really have one again, and it was the fact that who was the speedster on Earth 19? His face was concealed, really. So I'm wondering if it's someone that we know, or a face that we know, or if it could be another Barry, or if that person is maybe Savitar that we just don't know about. But it'll be interesting to, hopefully that speedster is not going to be an issue for Barry later on if he happens to not be connected to Savitar. But if he is connected to Savitar, I'm just calling it right now. So there's that. Moving on to predictions, though, very quickly. Based off the promo for 3:15, it looks like Savitar uses Wally to figure out his escape from wherever he is at the moment. I guess the Philosopher's Stone he's trapped inside, maybe. But it also looks like Wally hallucinates some things, one of them being his own mom with glowing blue eyes that match Savitar's. So he could be hallucinating things that aren't really there. So that's an issue. But the synopsis for 3:15 reads that while training with Barry, Wally starts to have visions of Savitar, which he hides from the team. A dangerous secret threatens Iris and Barry's happiness. A little worried about that secret, but I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. But a new question from that is, why is Wally now suddenly getting these visits from Savitar? Why wasn't he getting them immediately after Savitar was imprisoned temporarily in the Philosopher's Stone after being thrown in the Speed Force? Why now? Was he weakened because of that? And then he needed to gather his strength, and now he's strong enough to make that connection with Wally? Is it only Wally that's getting these visions from Savitar, or is it everyone, or is it every metahuman that Dr. Alchemy had given powers back to? Because Savitar kind of told him to. So there's that question as well. But that's about it. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts, theories, opinions about what you think is going to come next. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. There's the timer. I finally did it on time. Alright, there you go. So there is that. Also, if you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place. So go check that out and follow me if you want. It's also connected to my WordPress account, which kind of makes it a little more organized from my Tumblr tags. But everything I post online is connected through all my accounts in some way, shape, or form. So go check out that. It's still a work in progress, so keep that in mind when you do. And that's about it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you come back next week to hear what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.